Hello, it is Throwback Thursday, August 18th, 2022. Steve Sipress here, and I came out to record this video so you could see the monsoon major storm that is approaching. I don't know how well you can see. The flag has definitely calmed down in the last few seconds. It might whip back up again in the next few minutes in the video here, and we've got dark, foreboding rain clouds all around over the mountains behind me. There, it's starting to whip up a little bit. Looks like we're going to get a downpour, which we are famous for here in the Phoenix, Scottsdale area during the monsoon season, which runs from the middle of June to the end of September, I believe. So we still have a full about 6 weeks to go, and this looks like it's going to be a big downpour soon. So my beautiful wife Michelle was doing a little spring cleaning or messing around in our storage in our garage, and came across this baggie and said, check that out. These are the badges, the pin-on price badges that we wore back when I was a food vendor, walking around the seats in Madison Square Garden in New York City, home of the New York Knicks, the New York Rangers. 10 weeks a year of the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus. That no longer exists. Every month there was a wrestling match, World Cup soccer closed circuit on the big 4 TV screens, championship boxing matches, World Team Tennis played there in the Irving Felt Forum below Madison Square Garden. A small arena held about 4,500. They played tennis down there. All kinds of events and concerts. How can I forget? Those were the days. 6 shows of Led Zeppelin with 1 day off in between. So 7 days, 6 shows of Led Zeppelin. It was so much fun to go into school wearing the old concert black T-shirts, if you remember those days back. This is the late 70s, 1977 that was. And in there in school, and people like, oh, you went to Led Zeppelin, what night? I remember that one discussion at the lunch table, and somebody was like, I went on the 3rd night, I went on the 6th night, I went on the 2nd night, I was there on the 1st night. Came to me, they're like, well, what night were you there? I'm like, I was there for all 6 nights. What? That's right. And not only did I not pay for a ticket, but I got paid to be there. And not only was I there, but I wasn't sitting in the upper deck or 100 rows back or 10 rows back or anything. I was right up at the stage. In fact, I was backstage, our dressing room as the vendors, right next to the dressing room of the teams or the musicians during concerts and all that. So a lot of fun. Great job for a kid, especially a sports fan. But, you know, with inflation going rampant, highest in 40 years, and another recession we're heading through, which this one looks like it's going to be a little prolonged. It might last 2 or 3 years because this government has no intention. I mean, they just passed this, they called it the, can't even say it with a straight face. They just passed like a massive $750 billion just wild spending spree bill, as if they can control the weather or whatever, and brilliantly called it the Inflation Reduction Act, like as if printing up money you don't have and spending $750 billion, $700 billion is somehow going to reduce inflation. That's actually the cause of inflation, so it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. But anyway, if you want to hear about inflation, check this out. So 1 pretzel back in the day, 83 cents, 7 cents tax, 90 cents if you bought it in Madison Square Garden from a vendor. Now, I have to tell you that these badges were from pretty much my 2nd stint in Madison Square Garden. So my first one started in February 77 when I was a junior in high school, and prices were a lot lower. So for instance, look at this one, popcorn. Now the flag's whipping up a little bit. Popcorn, $1. What? When I started in 1977 was 60 cents. I worked there my junior and senior year in high school, and I went up to college in Boston, Massachusetts. Then I went to law school, and I started my first multi-million-dollar business in my final year in law school. Needed a little money to get it going, to get a computer and print up some brochures and envelopes to mail them out and all that kind of stuff and place some ads, I went back to work in Madison Square Garden, 1985. So 8 years later, then it was 60 cents. Now it was up to $1. And today, if you go into an arena to watch a baseball game, football game, basketball, hockey, boxing match, wrestling, whatever, or a concert, I'm guessing you're going to get a little thing of popcorn or a movie theater. What is it? 8, 10, 12 bucks. Talk about inflation. Oh, look at that one. That's my union badge. Vendor number 113. That's the big red one when I went back. The first time I was there, I still have that one from my original 1977, or this has to be a couple years later when I worked myself up to becoming vendor number 4. The small blue one. Let's see what other prices we had back in 1985. Cotton candy, $1. Also 60 cents when I first started in 77. When you work the circus, you sell a lot of cotton candy. And now we're getting a little wet. In fact, we're getting a lot wet. And my beautiful wife, Michelle, is cracking up at me because it is definitely starting to pour. Lightning, massive rain. The birds are tweeting and flying and going, get me out of here. Soda, 95 cents. That's interesting. It was the same prices as cotton candy and popcorn. It was 60 cents when I started. Now, the nice thing about making soda 95 cents, if you can guess, that means most people said, give me a soda, gave us $1 and said, keep the change. So we were on 14.3% commission. So now we made 13 cents on a soda plus a nickel. We made 18 cents. We love that one. Only made 14 cents if they'd put it up to $1. So we love that. And I did show you the pretzel one. So, you know, it was food. Then there was a separate entire group of vendors selling souvenirs. For the most part, they did not walk around the stands. If you go to arenas today, you still see them. There's the clap of thunder. They're standing at booths. So when you walk in, they're like, program, get your program here. But you get into the seats, and you can go to the stands and get your hot dogs and drinks and pretzels and peanuts and whatever, or you can sit in your seat and wait for someone like me to come around, or someone like me to come around 50 years ago, 45 years ago, and say, popcorn here, fresh, hot popcorn, beer here, cold beer. Oh, I don't have a beer badge. Oh, I must have gone back. I only went back for 3 weeks. I remember now, I went back for 3 weeks in December. That's right, it was on a break. The Christmas break from college. That's all it took me to make enough money to run some ads, put a down payment on a computer lease, and get some printing done and launch that business. About a little over 3 years later, from launching that from absolutely bootstrapped zero, had to go back to work at my high school job to do it. I got an offer for $1.75 million for 45% of the company, with the plan to eventually to take it public. And the fact that I turned down that offer, that's a long story. To this day, every time I watch the Shark Tank, I'm like, yep, I turned down one of those sweetheart offers. But anyway, life goes on. That'll do it for Throwback Thursday. So as the storm, rages, thunder, lightning, about 45-mile-an-hour winds, and it doesn't help that we're up here on mountains where the winds really whip. We are up here out in the open on a little peak just before you get to the absolute top peak of the mountains, and those homes just a little bit away with fantastic, great views of the city of Phoenix and Tempe and all of that. But anyway, winds blowing, rain is falling, thunder and lightning. It is monsoon season. August 18th, Throwback Thursday, in the Phoenix, Scottsdale area, 2022. Thanks everyone here live. Thanks for watching on the replay. I will catch you back here again tomorrow on Foundation Friday, where we will enjoy the regular record-setting inflation we have, not the inflation of, man, I mean, just think about it. If you would invest it in one thing of cotton candy for $1, 1985, and you held on to it till today, probably be worth 10 bucks. Great investment. All right, just kidding. That'll do it for today. Catch you tomorrow. Over and out. Wish you were here.